Hello everyone, this is Jamie Buckley with Life of Fiction, and this is episode 4. So here we are. It's the last day of July, and the biggest concern that I had not in my writing, because I finished up the Demone Van Kyo, and so that's all scheduled to be released 2 chapters a week on lifeoffiction.com, so that's all set up. Started writing the new version of Prelude. Still not sure what the title is going to be, but I don't know. We might do Prelude. We might do Prelude of a Hero, Prelude to a Hero. But the side thing, I was really bothered this month. Oh, it's a bad thing for me to say that now, because I was excited. My favorite writing, one of 2 of my favorite writing competitions during every year is WorldAnvil Summer Camp, and I know that I've been talking about that a little bit, and I've written some articles on that. Turned out that I have some very annoying personality quirks that I discovered about myself. And that is, when I say that I'm going to do something, or I give someone a commitment, I give someone my word, I am bound. Now I fail at times. I mean, sometimes I make a promise and I can't keep it. Things happen. That happens with everybody at one time or another. But when at the beginning of summer camp, you make a pledge. And every year that I've done summer camp on WorldAnvil, I've always gone for diamond. You've got copper, which is the first 8 prompts that you complete. The second one is silver. It's another 8. And then you've got gold. And then when you complete, I think it's 32 in total, you can get diamond. Well, I've always gotten diamond. I write like mad, but I just didn't have time this year. I was so excited because it got there, and I'm participating with everyone, and I'm on Discord, and I'm in the summer camp channel because I love talking with people there and encouraging folks, and so I made the pledge with the full desire to achieve diamond, and I never took into account what I already had on my plate in starting Life of Fiction. And then I have 2 other Substacks that are connected to this, and these are family businesses. This is my living, and I didn't really take into account how hard this was going to be for me to do this immersive and extensive writing with 32 prompts. And somewhere around the middle of the month, I went, I've got to focus on the most important thing, and that happens to be this Life of Fiction. This is my number 1 priority. And writing books, writing stories, interacting with my readers. And so I thought, I'm really only going to be able to do 8. I'm not going to just walk away and do nothing. That's ridiculous. So I'll do copper. I will go for a copper. And I don't know what it was. It just bugged me so bad that I would get a copper when I know that I have the capability to get diamond. And then what really hit me at that middle of the month mark was I made a pledge. I was so bugged and trying to justify in my brain to just go for copper, just write 8 articles over the span of the month, and it's good enough. And through that justification, I was trying to find a way out of my self-inflicted obligation, and I looked up the definition of a pledge. And it's a solemn vow and promise. And I had done that publicly. And even if I hadn't done it publicly, I did it to myself. I made that pledge because that's what I normally do. And so I realized I gave my word. And that just, oh gosh, for like 5 days, it wasn't a thorn in my side. It was like being stabbed in the heart. You can't not do this. You gave your word. If you don't do it, what is your word worth? That's really what goes through my mind. Anyway, so I was tormented about this, and over the last, basically 24 hours, I wrote the rest of the articles, and so I hit 32. So I got diamond. I ended up doing that to the point that I thought my brain was melting out of my ears, and my eyes were giving out staring at the screen for so long, and my fingers were sore, and yet I got it. And so I'm thinking, what did I learn from this? A few things. First of all, I really don't like writing binges like that, where I feel like I'm forced to complete something. It's very, very different when I'm writing a book. Because when I'm writing a book, you get lost in the process. So I could be writing, I've done it many times where I've written 12 hours, 18 hours in a stretch. And I stop because I notice my hands hurt and I don't know why my hands hurt. And I look up and I've been writing for that long. And I've done that time and time again. That's not the same thing as, oh gosh, I need to meet this goal. I need to come up with another idea. And I can't get up. I can't leave my office. I can't get out of my chair until I get, so many of these prompts done. That's not the same thing. And so I learned a few things about myself during the last 24 hours of this summer camp. Number one, I have some really annoying personal traits. No, it's a good thing to want to keep your word. I'm going to say that right off the bat. That is not one of my annoying things. I'm glad that I strive to keep my word. I'm glad that my word means something to me. I don't know if it means something to everyone else, but it means something to me. It also means something to when someone else gives me their word. I want to be able to count on people. So that's not the annoying part. The annoying part is that I give my word. And you can go ahead and laugh about that. But the thing is that I open my mouth too frequently and then I bind myself. And that's kind of stupid. And that annoys me. I should have thought this through. I don't regret, by the way. Anyone who's listening, my friends from WorldAnvil, especially if it's Janet and Dimitri, I do not regret doing summer camp. I love summer camp. I still love summer camp, and I think this year, 2023, is still the best one yet. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I should have thought this through when I already had things on my plate so that I could meter out the time that I had and not kill myself, not, overwhelm myself and take away from the creative energy writing the books that I had already planned on doing. So I think that was poor planning on my part. So that annoys me that I did that. I was obsessed with getting badges. There's another weakness. I'm just addicted to WorldAnvil badges. They're so stinking cool. And it's so ego. Really, there's no reason. I'm not competing with anyone. I'm collecting things. It's like collecting Pokemon cards or buttons or baseball caps. And oh my gosh, I just realized I do those too. Okay, so I'm learning all sorts of annoying things about myself. Not pushing yourself in that little crunch, that 24-hour period of writing all these articles. That's not a good idea because I always inflict upon myself health-wise, which is not good. So that's another annoying thing. My eyesight keeps getting bad to the point that I will stare at my computer screen long enough, writing enough of these articles. And again, for some reason, it's not the same thing as writing a novel. I'll have eye strain, but I'll get up and I'll stretch, I'll yawn, I'll go for a walk or sit outside in nature or whatever. But when I push myself like I did with these articles, the eye strain and the focus and I think it's stress actually. And I will do that and focus on it to the extent that I will lose my eyesight for a period of time. My eyes, I don't know what's wrong with them, and I should probably look into this, but from time to time I push myself so hard that things start to dim. They get so blurry that even wearing my glasses doesn't work. And I will have to walk away and not look at any monitor. No computer screen, not my smartphone, not my iPad, not even my television. And I'll have to rest my eyes for at least a day, usually 2. I should probably be kind of scared of that, right? Yeah. So the other thing that I learned about pushing in 24 hours is the quality of work diminishes horribly. And that's bad. I can always, and I will go back, and I'm going to go into these articles more in depth. I will add to them after everything's been judged and summer camp is over. I can always go back and add to them, change them, modify them, which I do. The other thing is I will add artwork to it, and the formatting. That's one thing that really, it's one of the annoying things about myself that I noticed about myself is I don't like ugly articles. It's bad enough that the material, that the actual stories and information isn't complete, organizational quirk that I have. It's also that other people, because these are public articles, are going to be seen, and my artwork that I like applying to every article are not in these 32 articles. That bugs me. That bugs me a whole lot. So those are my quirks and things that I've learned about myself so that I can plan better next year when we do summer camp. Will I go for diamond again? I'm not going to commit to it, but I'm willing to bet $1 on myself that probably, because I love that diamond badge and they keep making them gorgeous. So, yeah. So now I've got the next WorldAnvil competition of this year. My number 1 favorite, by the way, which is World Ember. Yes, TJ, I'm with you. World Ember is the best. Absolutely, positively. Now, the good thing about that is I never go wrong in participating in World Ember, because the difference between that one and summer camp, both through WorldAnvil, is that I just have to, what is it? Is it 40,000 words? Is it 10,000 words? I can't even remember. I think it's 10,000 words, I think, to complete World Ember. And then there are competitions on, if you do 50,000 words, if you do 100,000 words. A couple years ago, I think I did like 320,000 words in a month. But all you're doing is building your own world. It's the world building for your novels. And I had a lot to do, research to do, to complete a novel that I was working on. So I just set everything aside and I just went for it. And that was the result. So anyway, that's my update. And what is happening now on Life of Fiction? Well, the really cool thing, if you want to come over to lifeoffiction.com, and I would encourage you to do so, I'd like some feedback on how to design some new covers. So I'm going to be getting into the Chronicles of a Hero series, which is the main storyline that involves Wendell and Chuck and Dax. I am planning on doing the full how should we say this? Unbarred, unhindered, maybe that's a better word, the unhindered story and the unapologetic story. I want to put everything in the story the way that it was meant to be in the first place. It will be different from the comic books, of course, because the comic books were designed for the younger children, for my own kids. They weren't early teens. These are going to be between middle grade and young adult. But I'm not going to hold back on the story. I want to fill everything in. So if you've read Chronicles of a Hero, the first 8 books, which are not published anymore, I took them off the market. They will be versions of those books, versions of that story, but they will be modified and they will be filled in. And my intent and focus this time also is to do it in first person from Wendell's point of view. And I'm very excited about that. But I would like to encourage you, if you wouldn't mind, to please come over to lifeoffiction.com, and I would like feedback and ideas on designing the covers for this series. One of the things that it's been a long time. Well, we started we did the first book, 2011, I think, was when we published Prelude. And I've kept the covers of these books using the smileys. And there's a story behind that. We'll go into that at another time. But the smileys are not going to be the main focus of the books. I want to redesign the covers. I've just found some challenges with those covers, and I just think that I designed them wrong. And so I would like to I am going to do the artwork. I'm not going to outsource that. I want to use my cartooning skills and my just my signature art. I want to be able to do the artwork for this world. But I need ideas for the covers. So I'm hoping to get enough feedback from readers. I'm hoping if you are a follower of this podcast that you will come over to lifeoffiction.com and look it up. I think I still have it pinned there on the homepage. But I'd love your suggestions on how I could design a new set of covers. I'm saying set because I want to have some aspects that will carry over from cover to cover. But I would like to know, what covers of books do you love most? I'd love links in the comments. If you would send me links to pictures of your favorite covers and explain to me, why do you love them? What is it about a particular cover that excites you, maybe grabs your interest? Do you have books that you love that you could see from across the room and identify a particular series? I'd love to know that. But I'm looking for feedback. I'm looking for ideas. And then I'll gather those together, and I'm hoping to do some rough drafts and put those in some articles and get some feedback. But I would like to design some beautiful, powerful, and inspiring covers for the new series. So I'm hoping that you'll come on over and help me figure that out. Anyway, that's all I've got this week, and thank you so much for listening if you listened all the way through. Again, I'd like to welcome you to come over to lifeoffiction.com and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Doesn't cost you a penny. Of course, if you support us financially, you get all sorts of perks, especially access to all the stories as they're written. You'll get discounts and on the publications. And I think you'll just have a good time. I really do. So thank you so much, and we will talk to you next time. And remember, you are more than you think you are.